The conservative 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court poised to deliver major new rulings in coming months. The confirmation process for Supreme Court justices has become interesting, to say the least. Here with me is former Senator Carol Mosley Braun, a trailblazer and pioneer herself. She was the first black woman senator elected back in 1992. And throughout the years, she's championed issues for women and civil rights. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so honored to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you were the first black woman elected to the U.S. Senate, now almost 30 years later. How does it feel to see a black woman nominated to sit on the nation's highest court?
Well, I have to echo Senator Booker because I am joyous about this. It's well overdue. She is eminently qualified. This nomination should have been bulletproof, but as we've seen in the last few days, they brought out every racist trope they can find to try to derail her nomination. And I think it's shameful. I hope they discovered, some of my former colleagues would rediscover shame as we finish this up, because she deserves the vote of every sitting senator. She's earned it. She is overqualified. She has the credentials and she's got the heart. She's got it all. And so I just hope that I look forward to the vote on her confirmation. And I'm just hoping that both sides of the aisle join in celebrating her nomination and confirming her.
One of the topics that came up is the empathy Judge Jackson has shown on the bench. Let's listen to her response to that.
My attempts to communicate directly with defendants is about public safety, because most of the people who are incarcerated via the federal system and even via the state system will come out, will be a part of our communities again. And so it is to our entire benefit, as Congress has recognized, to ensure that people who come out stop committing crimes.
What are your thoughts on her response there?
Well, she's so much better than I am. I got to tell you, I have been so impressed with her, because I would have just kind of reached out and slapped one of them or something. I would have done something really ignorant. She's been very composed and very judicial in all of her responses. And she's really, I think that's tripped him up, because she has not taken the bait, no matter what it is. Quite frankly, I have been offended that they are asking so many questions about crime, because, you know, black people are not more likely to commit crimes than anybody else. And so why that trope continues to be brought out against Black America is a mystery to me. But there's some things that are just in the water, that racist things that are in the water in this country, and the notion of being soft on crime, not being patriotic, all those things, it's just shameful. And so I hope that the members of the Senate will rediscover shame as they get ready to vote for her.
Well, I certainly think that you would remain poised despite you saying that you might have reached across the table. But what are your thoughts? I mean, with your years of experience dealing with Republicans, dealing with Democrats, having served in different administrations, the point that we're at now, do you see this as just the beginning, or is this a situation where some people see as President Barack Obama, where it was something that went a different direction than people might have expected?
You know, I hope it's not the beginning of anything. Quite frankly, to the extent that the members of the Senate are playing to their base, are making a point of being racist because they think that's what people want to hear. That in and of itself is shameful. Quite frankly, I hope that they will come away from that and recognize that this country has moved on. America is a different place than it was 100 years ago. And we're not, you know, people are not getting lynched anymore, and people are not, women are not required to stay at home and can't get jobs. I mean, this woman has proved herself at every turn at being more than qualified, more than capable, and more than able to do the job. And that ought to be the requirement. That ought to be what's required and what the expectations are. My former colleague and my mentor, Paul Simon, used to say that when you're doing confirmation, you just want to make sure the person has a good head and a good heart. And this Judge Jackson has demonstrated that she has both. And I just hope that the kind of ugly tropes that are being pulled out against her will just kind of go away, and these people will understand that what they're doing is not just harmful. They may be thinking that they may think they're playing to their base, but the fact of the matter is that does harm to our body politic. That does harm to America, and they are not being patriotic in doing this sort of and treating her like this.
Yeah, absolutely. She certainly has been handling herself in such a strong fashion. I want to end with a soundbite from Senator Durbin on Judge Jackson's nomination. He actually said, quote, not a single justice has been a black woman. You can be the first. It's not easy being the first. In some ways, you have to be the best. In some ways, the bravest, end quote. Senator, you have certainly filled the role of being the first so many times in your career. What advice do you have for the women who followed in your path, and advice for Judge Jackson?
You know, it's the same advice that our grandparents gave us. Work hard, do your best, and you know, if you have to be better than everybody else, that's what you have to do. And she's done that. She has been magnificent as a trial judge, as an appellate court judge, and I think will distinguish herself on the United States Supreme Court. So, you know, and it gets difficult because they come at you with everything. They come at you, they attack your character, they try to slander you. I mean, that's what she's put up with. And maybe, I like to think that maybe the drubbing that I took has informed and helps her a little bit in terms of understanding that you can't take the bait. You have to be able to just kind of plow forward, keep doing what you do, be clear to about who you are, and not let them get you off track or get you off base. And they have tried everything. I mean, to come at her with child pornography, you know, and crime. It's like, what? You know, the fact of the matter is that the numbers are really clearly tell us that most child pornography are not black. So why would you ask the black nominee a question like that? Why would one of the other members asked her, "What's a woman?" Why would you ask any Supreme Court nominee what's a woman? I mean, it's just silly. So I referred to them as knuckle draggers at one point, but the fact is they embarrass knuckle draggers because the fact is they are really not embarrassed. They are really embarrassing themselves, I think, and playing to this racist right-wing base, which is what I think they're doing. I think they're making political points. I mean, it's theater, and they're trying to make political points, but she has outsmarted them all, and I'm just so proud of her and happy that she's there. It makes a big difference. Thurgood Marshall made a huge difference in my life and in all of our lives, and we got past the kind of segregation. You didn't have to ride in the back of the bus anymore. You could go to school where you wanted to, and you could function like you wanted to function. And so she will make a big difference in the lives of millions of Americans to come. And I could not be prouder of her.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your insights, and thank you for all that you've done as a former senator. Senator Carol Mosley Braun, appreciate your time. Take care.
Thank you very much.
And stay with us, everyone. Much more news ahead. We'll be right back after this quick break.